Hello, princesses, and welcome back to Not Fit for Print Beauty with me, Rebecca. Today I have a little fun one for you. We're going to look at the brand new Wayne Goss Radiance Boosting Face Palette. This little guy and his brethren were released at Beautylist just the other day for $45 each. They come in 3 different shade ranges. I picked up the middle one and I've been playing with it a little bit. I think I made a good choice, but I think I'd like the other ones too. So we have light gold, the one I picked up, which is satin bronze, and then deep copper. So I'm going to show it to you and talk about it. The first thing I want to say though is there's a reason I get so excited for these Wayne Goss releases, and I think I can say the same thing actually about the Sonia G releases too, these kind of fun, beauty-lish releases. It's because these are, and we'll speak about Wayne. Like I said, you could talk about Sonia G as well, but let's talk right now about Wayne since we're looking at Wayne Goss's product. You are looking at blood, sweat, and tears from these creators. You are looking at something that is somebody's baby. What I mean is that the larger brands are corporate and they're releasing a lipstick, a face palette, and you know, they have special releases, certainly, and bigger releases, I should say, but not necessarily special. The fun thing about these little releases from Wayne Goss is love him or leave him, he pours his heart and soul into these. And when you are getting them, reviewing them, playing with them, you have the creator of the palette, in this case Wayne Goss, interested in what you think, curious about what you think. It is his baby. And the specialness and the love behind that, I think, is really important when we spend our money on these. You really have something that is precious to the person who created it. Like I said, in this case, Wayne Goss. So we're going to look at this. There are 3. I really wish I picked up the others, but I just didn't know what I would think of it first. So I went with the middle shade, which is, like I said, satin bronze. There was a lighter and a deeper, and I didn't know how I would contour. This is a contour and kind of a bronzing, radiant bronzing palette, really. Okay, so let's take a look at the shades I picked up. Again, this is the satin bronze, and these are still available for $45 at Beautylish. So we have 2 shades, okay? Let's understand what we're doing here, and then I've got some of my favorite Wayne Goss brushes out here, and we are going to try it on. I'll kind of show you how it works, okay? Because not all of us contour all the time. Contouring was so popular for a while, with such chiseled looks, and it kind of went down. Now it's coming back up. We are seeing these contour palettes. So let me explain to you what they're about without talking down to any makeup artists and such who might be watching. I apologize, that's not my intent. But let me just show you kind of how it all works. Okay, so we start with a matte shade, and that would be this shade right here. This matte shade is going to have more of a gray tone. The reason is it will mimic on your face a shadow. Let me just kind of show you. I don't know if that will pick up that swatch. I hope it does. Yeah, it looks like it did. So notice it is a darker, almost gray toned beigey brown shade. This is going to be used to contour under the cheekbones, the sides of the nose, the jawline, things like that, to make it almost accentuate shadows so that these areas recede. And when the areas recede, it makes us look a bit more chiseled, you know. And who doesn't want to look like that, right? Your supermodel. And then we have the bronze shade, which is a satin. And this is kind of going to be a warmer shade. Let's put it right here next to it, and you'll see right away how much warmer it is than the kind of cooler toned contour and the warmer bronzer. The bronzer will warm up the tops of your cheeks, your forehead, your nose, and it can kind of go together and it makes a cohesive look. Again, the cooler shade for making receding like shadows, and the warmer shade for brightening the face. So let's give it a try. I do not have any bronze nor bronzer on, nor do I have any sort of contour. I am not a big contour woman, because it got so chiseled for a while. It's like brows, you know, it feels like something you need to have some expertise to do. But fortunately, I'm confident enough. And I actually need the contour. My face has gotten rounder as I've gotten older. Candy and cookies haven't helped that, whatever, but it's true. But I probably really need, this is my mirror I'm turning around, that contour at this point in my life. Plus, just while I'm doing Rebecca Confidential here, my nose, about 10 years ago or so, my little girl broke my nose accidentally. She was a baby and she jumped up. And I have kind of a odd looking area on my nose where it's kind of spread a little bit. And really, the contour will really help it. So let's start with the contour. I have a Wayne Goss number 13 brush, just because it's dense. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to contour under my cheekbones. Now, the first thing I have to do is find my cheekbones, but they're there. And a trick, of course, is to suck in. Look, they're there. Okay, so let's go in with the matte shade. That's the kind of grayer of the two, okay? I'm gonna tap off my brush a little bit because we don't want to get too crazy. And we want to go from about here under the cheekbone, okay? And then I'm going to blend it. I'm not going to just leave it as a line. So let's try it. Okay, I could be more obvious than that, but I really don't want to be. I'm not trying to be like, chiseled perfection. All right, let's try it again. Here we go. Now, I kind of want to go down this way, but as you see, I need to follow it. And I'm just going to kind of blend, okay? Just going to kind of blend. Then I'm going to take my Wayne Goss Artist Collection, the smallest brush, and I'm going to go into that same shade again. You can't see the palette, but that's what I'm doing. And I'm just going to kind of, my nose is wider here on the side. So I'm going to kind of go down the side and just kind of blend that out there and see how it just kind of skinnies my funky little nose. Ooh, I like that. And then you should also do, I'm going to take my middle-sized Artist Collection brush, and I'm going to go in here and I'm going to get the jawline, because goodness knows I need one. I don't know why I'm sucking in my cheekbones. I should just stand around like that. So the idea here is not to look like you have a beard, unless you'd like to have it look like that, but that's not what I'm going for. I just want to kind of have that area kind of recede a little bit so that this part of my cheek stands out and not anything else wider. And yes, I'm doing kind of a quick, clumsy job, but that's okay, and blend that out. I can go a little darker and heavier, but I prefer it to be very subtle like that. Now I want to get into the really kind of fun bronzy satin shade, this one right here, which I'm going to use a little bit more heavily on my bigger of my Artist Collection brush, the largest one. We're going to get the tops of the cheeks, the forehead, then kind of across the nose, okay? Look at how pretty that is. Now I just want to show you, here is a side. Let me turn my mirror away here. This side of my face, pardon me while I stare into the viewfinder, this side of my face, yes, has the contour, but it doesn't also have the kind of highlighty bronze satin shade. It's not a highlighter, but that kind of bronzy satin shade. I meant that it highlights that part of the face, brings attention to it. And look at, I can definitely see the difference. I certainly hope that you can too. And that is the way to kind of tell them apart. I'm almost using it even like a blush. I'm bringing it down. We're going to go across the bridge of the nose, and I'm going to go up here on the forehead, even into, that's just that kind of sun-kissed look. Now look at how all of a sudden it looks like I've spent some time in the sun in a non-dangerous way for my skin. See, all of a sudden it just looks more put together, and I think much prettier. This is really finely milled, and I like that I couldn't make a mistake. I think in the past with contour, and especially when you have like a contour stick that's very dark, it can feel almost threatening when you make a line here and it's super dark. It can almost be a bit startling. So I really like the fact that this is kind of mistake proof. I can just kind of go in there, follow that. I could build on it. And I'm just kind of being clumsy with it. I didn't even use a mirror right there. It's a good idea to use a mirror, especially if it's going with a darker shade. But I really like the fact that this is buildable and friendly to all levels. So if you're a professional makeup artist, you would know what you're doing and you can go in heavier. And if you're just kind of having fun with makeup at home, you're not gonna screw this up. And my nose looks better. This part of my nose stands out a little more. This part of my cheeks is now standing out a little bit more. So what I have done is taken my look and just pulled it together so simply, and you almost can't notice it, but I do sure hope that you see the difference. I sure do. I would like to order the other two shades. I think for me, the lightest would be a really fun, almost winter, you know, when you don't have any color to your skin really. And the darkest would be really when I want to chisel, which I probably need. And I can see how men and women of every skin tone could find something in each one of these palettes. They would also be beautiful on the eyes. So if you're doing a real no makeup look, you can kind of just bronze and contour and then run either of these shades. This shade, especially for someone like me with hooded eyes, this matte shade would be beautiful in the crease. Talk about making the eye recede. And then you could even put this more of a satin shade onto the lid. And it would just be with just a little bit of mascara, almost using the satin bronzer shade as a blush, and you would just have the sunny, summery, beautiful look, a little bit of lip gloss, and you'd be set. So this is absolutely lovely for $45, totally worth it. And I really feel that I look kind of bronzy and sun-kissed now, which I did not at the beginning of the video. So money well spent, in my opinion. And I do know that we have a lot of these sets coming out. I know that Patrick Ta when I'm at time of filming has just released some. So we are coming back, and it is something you probably want to play with. And I think Wayne Goss's collection is something that could easily, this is not intimidating in terms of contour, which I find very exciting. So drop me a comment if this is something you purchased or are thinking about purchasing. Let me know. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. I sure hope you did. And if you haven't already done so, please consider subscribing, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.